So, if something happened to you tomorrow, a car accident, a sudden illness, anything, do the people you love know how to access your bank accounts, your email? What about your Facebook, your Google Drive full of family photos? If the answer is no, or even, I think so, don't worry, I've got your back. Today, we are going to walk through exactly how to build a digital estate plan. What to do with your social media accounts, where to store your passwords securely, and how to make sure the people you leave behind actually can access everything they need. Now, I want to talk about why this matters before we get into the how, because this isn't just about passwords. When someone passes away, their family is often left dealing with two things at once: grief and a digital maze. Bank accounts they can't get into, streaming subscriptions still being charged to a card that no one can access, social media profiles that just sit there or worse, get hacked, email accounts full of irreplaceable memories that eventually get deleted by the platform. Here's something most people don't know: Facebook will memorialize an account when they receive notice of a death, but only if someone tells them. Google will delete an inactive account after a set period of time, unless you've set up what's called an Inactive Account Manager. Apple has a digital legacy feature. Each platform really has its own process, and none of them really talk to each other. The good news: setting all of this up takes probably less than an afternoon, and once it's done, you probably will have real peace of mind, and so will your family. So let's get into it. Okay, step one, and this is probably going to be the most painful step of all of them. You need to take inventory of your digital life before you can plan for it. So I want you to think in three buckets. Bucket one: financial accounts, bank accounts, investment accounts, PayPal, Venmo, any subscription services with auto pay. These are the ones that can cause real financial problems for your family if no one can access them. Bucket two: social media and communication. This is Facebook, Instagram, email, Google account. These can hold memories, photos, messages, videos, and they hold access to things like Apple Pay or Google Play. Bucket three is everything else. So your Amazon account, Netflix, your phone's iCloud, Google backup, any domain names or websites that you own, cryptocurrency if you have it. I'd recommend grabbing a piece of paper or opening a notes app right now and start writing down every account you can think of across those three buckets. So we're not worrying about passwords quite yet. We're just listing everything that's out there. We'll handle the storage in step two. So now let's hop over to step two. Parents always ask me about this. Where do you actually store this information so your family can find it? But it's also not just sitting in a Google Doc somewhere, because if it's all in a Google Doc and they can't access your Google account, it's not really doing much good, is it? With all your passwords stored in a Google Doc just in plain text, that's a recipe for disaster. So here is what I highly recommend: a password manager. I currently use Dashlane to store passwords, but there are many other tools you can pick from. I've got a link for Dashlane in the description if you want an easy peasy recommendation. And then here's how to set it up for estate planning specifically. Create a shared folder in your password manager called something like Estate Access. In there, you're going to store your login for every account on that list you just made. So the key thing here is your emergency contact. Whoever you trust most needs to know the master password to get into your password manager. Or you can just share that folder with somebody who also has an account in that same platform. Say it's Dashlane. You can share that folder with somebody who also has a Dashlane account. Now, here's one of the downsides to this approach. If your family isn't very tech savvy, navigating a password manager under the stress of grief can be really hard. So I'd also recommend maybe a physical backup. Print out your most critical logins, store them in a sealed envelope with your will or in a fireproof safe. Low tech, but it works too. So don't forget to update both the digital and physical list whenever you change a password. Hey, and quick pause. If this kind of content is useful to you, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that notification bell. I make videos every week to help families feel more confident about the technology in their lives. And digital estate planning is exactly that kind of content. So let's keep going. We're just getting to the social media piece, which is where it gets really specific. So, step three, like I just mentioned, is social media. So, each major platform handles this differently. So, let's kind of go through them one by one. Facebook is first. Facebook lets you assign a legacy contact. This is a person who can manage your profile after you pass. They can pin a tribute post, respond to new friend requests, and update your profile picture. They cannot log in as you and read your messages, but to set it up, you can go to settings, then privacy, scroll down to memorialization settings, add your legacy contact there. I would just do this today. Now, Google has a feature called Inactive Account Manager. It lets you decide what happens to your Google account, Gmail, Google Photos, Google Drive, YouTube, if you become inactive for a set period of time. You can choose to share your data with up to 10 trusted people or have it deleted. To find it, go to myaccount.google.com, click Data and Privacy, then scroll to Make a Plan for your digital legacy, set your inactive period. I'd recommend 12 months and add your trusted contacts. I mean, if you're inactive for about 12 months, you either just fell off the grid completely or you've maybe passed away. So 12 months is probably a good recommendation. We've got to Apple. So if you're an iPhone user, Apple has a digital legacy feature built into iOS. You can designate legacy contacts who receive an access key. When you pass, they use that key plus a death certificate to request access to your Apple ID data. Phones, photos, notes, messages, iCloud backups. To set it up, you go to Settings, tap your name at the top, and then Password and Security, and scroll to Legacy Contact. Now, Instagram and others, they are kind of behind the times on this. Instagram does allow family members to request memorialization or removal of an account, but there's no proactive legacy contact feature yet. For these, your best bet is to just leave the login credentials in your estate access password folder. So we've gotten to step 4. You have your inventory list, you have your password manager set up, you've done the platform legacy settings. Now you need to make one document that ties it all together. I call it your digital estate letter. It's not a legal document at all. It's a letter to the people you trust. It should include where to find the password manager master password, where the physical backup envelope is stored, who your Facebook legacy contact is and what they can do, who your Google Inactive Account Manager contacts are, who your Apple legacy contact is, and where the access key is. So, and any specific wishes, accounts you want deleted, accounts you want preserved, photos you want them to have. Store this letter with your will. If you don't have a will yet, that's a whole separate video. But for now, store it somewhere your emergency contact knows where to look. And then tell them it exists. The last part maybe sounds obvious. But so many people create a plan and then never tell anybody that this is the plan and this is how to find it. All right, step 5, and this is the one that people might forget the most, and that is to keep it updated. A digital estate plan is only as useful as it's current. So I'd recommend setting maybe a recurring reminder once a year, maybe on your birthday or New Year's, to go through your list and update any passwords that changed, any new accounts you opened, any changes to who you want as legacy contacts. Think of it like a digital fire drill. You don't do it because you expect a fire. You do it so that if one ever happens, everyone knows exactly what to do. So that should do it for your digital estate plan. You've got your inventory, your passwords stored securely, your social media legacy settings configured, your digital estate letter written, and a reminder set to keep it updated. So that's it. That's the whole plan. Now, I know a lot of the tech content out there is designed to scare you, and this topic can feel a little overwhelming. Nobody really likes to think of their own mortality. But I want you to leave this video feeling like you've actually done something for the people you love. Because you have, or at least you know exactly how to, right? I want you to feel confident about the technology in your home, not afraid of it. I've linked a few resources in the description below. I would love it if you subscribed so you can find me next time I put out a video. This is Family Tech Powering Down.